guys, Chris here, the RC Geek. Today we have a sneak peek review for you guys. Motion RC has just released their next twin electric warbird in their FlightLine RC brand, which is the F7F-3 Tigercat. Such an awesome airplane, such a great subject. At 1600mm wingspan, it's about 1/10 scale. Truth is, Tigercat has always been a favorite of mine. It's such a classic shape, and the performance of the real airplane is just incredible. I mean, such an iconic sound, such an iconic shape, it's awesome. Now, I'll be honest, kind of my second Tigercat in my hangar. I love him so much. A while back, I actually put together a small discussion on setting up multi-electrics. And the subject of that video was a big ASM Tigercat, which flies incredible. Now, one of the cool things about this model too is that it's officially licensed by Northrop Grumman and was designed from much of the original Grumman data. So in terms of scale, it doesn't get much more scale than that. And then, pulling the airplane from the box, there's definitely no disputing the shape on this one. It is sweet. That said, let's get this airplane assembled and flown for you guys and have some fun. So, let's go! Now, assembling the airplane was pretty simple. Only requires 16 fasteners total to put it together. I started out gluing the rear fuselage that has the molded dorsal to the forward fuselage with some 5-minute epoxy to do that. Then I put the nacelles to the wings to the fuselage, and lastly installed the horizontal tail. Now from there, I set up the radio and put the markings on to finish it all out. Only took about a couple hours to have it all ready to go completely. FlightLine RC has reduced the number of servo wires in the wings down to a single multi-function cable, which is a nice feature. I did notice, however, a little asymmetry on the left outer flap surface when I deflected the flaps compared to the other surfaces, but in flying the airplane, not an issue whatsoever. And truthfully, the mismatch wasn't that much. It was like 4mm or something like that. Nothing to worry about, no problems there. I have to say, man, the shape of this airplane is beautiful. They really got it right, nailed it down perfectly. All the right curves, all the right places. The finish is nice and smooth as a whole. Also, it's definitely one of the more smooth foam airplane finishes I've come across. And so that's really nice, and it's so far held up pretty well in the sun. It hasn't gone through a San Diego summer yet, but being out in the field with minimal shade and that dark color, it handled it pretty well. Now the color itself is nice and accurate, and they've got a number of plastic molded details all over the airplane. And the nice thing about those is they slide into a plastic receiver that's inside the model, or inside the foam. Now in terms of the landing gear and the gear doors, again, all really well done. Now I do wish that they could have made the main struts just a little more scale and diameter. I mean, they are a little skinny. And you got to remember, friends don't let friends skip legs day, because you don't want to end up like Hulk here.
Puny legs.
So I took it to the gym and 3D printed some strut covers to make it look a little bit more beefy, a little more scale, which really helped improve the looks, I think. If you'd like a set, I've got them available on my website, thercgeek.com/3D parts. Now for markings, the kit includes a nice selection, so you have choices there. I think there are markings for 4 different schemes that come in the box, plus Cali Graphics. I think she's released a number of additional markings for different paint schemes as well. Now the kit markings are almost like a vinyl sticker. There's no carrier film around them whatsoever, which is really nice, and they're a flat or a satin sheen that matches the model finish really well. Now for me, I went for a classic blue and gold look. The yellow lettering really pops out on the blue. It looks really cool in the air. Now, I did have a couple blemishes in the foam out of the box, but nothing too out of the ordinary really. They were small, didn't bother me that much. And then the other thing is no shipping damage. The airplane is packaged really, really well. Thing about it is by the time I was done assembling it, I had added a few dings of my own. Anyways, curse these heavy hands! The airplane was dying for some exhaust stains though out of the box. So I used an airbrush and some very thinned out Model Masters dark earth paint to dirty up the exhaust areas a little bit, which added a nice little touch. The recommended batteries for the Tigercat are two 4S 3000 to 4000 milliamp hour packs. I got a set of Motion RC Admiral 3600 packs, which are really nice batteries, and I also picked up a pair of Nanotech 4S 4000 packs, which fit without any problems whatsoever. I looked at putting some 5800s in there because I have a bunch of them, but yeah, that wasn't going to work out too well. So I set up the airplane with a little forward CG initially and pretty much kept it there. And I moved the packs back a little bit, but I was happy with how it flew straight away. The airplane didn't need much down elevator in the inverted, so that tells me the CG is probably about right. So the CG location I'm flying is about 70 millimeters as measured from the wing root leading edge aft. And that's about 3 millimeters forward of their recommendation that's in the manual. The radio setup was really easy as they simplified everything based on their electronics boards and multi-function cables they have. I set up triple rates with the throws using the recommendations in the manual as my high rates, and then I set up two lower rates from there. Through flying the airplane, I found that the max rates were a bit high for my flying style, and so I dropped down to the medium rate on elevator and then the low rate on aileron. I can't recommend enough, guys. If you're setting up a radio for a maiden flight, use multi-rates because it's going to help make things easier for you. Here's what I'm using for the throws. For elevator, I've got 11/16 inch up and down with 15% expo. For aileron, 5/8 inch up and down, 10% expo. And then for the rudder, 1 1/8 inch left and right, and I'm using 25% expo, more than I would typically want to use, but that's to desensitize the nose steering since the two are tied together. Now for flaps, 7/8 inch for the mid flap, and then 1 3/4 inch for full flap, and I've got a 10% down elevator mix in there, which translates to 3/16 inch of down elevator with full flaps. If you don't have that in there, the airplane's going to want to balloon on you and pitch up. So it is down elevator that you are mixing into it with the flaps. Okay, enough of the technical stuff. Let's talk flying. That's what we want to talk about. That's why we're here. This Tigercat does not disappoint. It looks amazing and it flies just as well. It's super stable and rock solid in the air, and with no bad habits that I had noticed. Now the airplane has good speed and vertical performance at full throttle, but still slows down to a crawl with the flaps down, making for some really sweet landings. It has great presence in the air too. It really looks like the real deal as it flies. All it's really missing is that sound of those double wasp radials, man. That's all it needs. Now I found myself flying the airplane at mostly full throttle for the flights, as this gave very scale-like performance and provided good penetration through the air for aerobatics. It really maneuvers just like the real one when you watch it fly. Flight times were easily over 6 minutes when flying at mostly full throttle, and you can easily extend that more throwing in a few slow speed passes, things of that sort. Now, if I had one wish, it would be that the airplane had just a little bit more grunt at full throttle. This would offer throttling back while still maintaining a good maneuver speed at partial throttle, and then allowing a little more pull at full throttle for larger vertical maneuvers. That said, the stock power system flies the airplane awesome. So here's a short flight video of the airplane in action. If you'd like to see the uncut video, you can see that by clicking on the icon in the upper right corner, and you'll find a link to the video. So check it out, and then we'll wrap it up.
There it is.
Okay guys, there we have it, the FlightLine RC F7F-3 Tigercat. This airplane is an absolute sweetheart, definitely a keeper in my book. Motion RC has really done a great job with the model as it looks and flies awesome. And what you get for the price is pretty crazy. Honestly, I don't even know how they do it, but excellent value, lots of airplane for the price. It really is nice to finally see a well done Tigercat realized and on the market. It definitely fills a void that's existed for a while, especially for us crazy Grumman cat fans. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you found this review helpful. As always, I have a full article on my blog at thercgeek.com with links to everything, so be sure to check that out. Also guys, I'll be presenting at the AMA Expo next month at the Ontario Convention Center. I'll be sharing my story and just talking about why I do this stuff. So come on out and say hi. It's going to be tons of vendors, so much cool stuff. It's really going to be a fun event. Also, as a part of that, we're giving away the 11 Hobby Bearcat that I reviewed a few months back. All you have to do to enter is click the link in the comments, follow the instructions, and the winner will be announced on January 10th, which is the Tuesday after the AMA Expo. So don't forget to subscribe to get that. Now if you'd like to see my review of the 11 Hobby Bearcat or some of my other reviews, you can see those here, or if you'd like to see some of the build tutorials that I've done, you can see those here. Thanks again guys, and I'll see you at the field.